Now we are going on to the second half of the cooking show, which is the kale seaweed salad.
Kale and seaweed salad.
So you got your chips.
So what we're going to start out with the kale and seaweed salad is first we're going to do sort of the dressing for it. You want to take some of your liquid amino, some of your sesame seed oil, and you're going to want to mix in sort of your minced garlic.
Uh-huh. So we got our minced garlic and our minced ginger.
Got our minced ginger in there. And then just sort of whisk this stuff all together. Let it mix and blend. And
nice.
Did you ever used to watch cooking shows when you were younger? Do you ever remember the Cajun Chef?
That's not Emerald, right?
No. It's
a different one.
The Cajun Chef. There's a different older guy. He'd always like every time he'd stir, it's like belly would jiggle.
This way. Oh. And that's what you realized when you did that?
Yeah, I felt like that.
You like reminiscing.
Reminiscing.
Awesome. Cool. I think always tip it because we're a one camera TV show.
Sure. Well, that doesn't work. It's all just like going to the edge.
You see it. Very cool. So what made you decide to make this, by the way?
Most recently, I've went through one of those detox diets, and we were cutting out meat, dairy, and a lot of other stuff from our diets.
Uh-huh.
And so we kind of started looking at very interesting ways to like make, so we weren't eating the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
So we're really trying to find different recipes that we could try out that were pretty simple.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not necessarily like a big fan of seaweed or sort of that kind of fish sauce flavor that sometimes goes with some of that saltier stuff.
Yeah, and like oyster sauce.
Yeah. But for some reason, I actually love the salad. It's really, really yummy.
That's awesome.
And I think it tastes good to me because one of the big problems that everybody does not like about kale is that it's a really strong and bitter kind
taste.
Of green.
Yeah.
But it's one of the highest packed, like it's like a superfood. It has so much good stuff for you.
That's awesome.
That,
I don't cook with kale very often.
Yeah.
Is it a good substitute for spinach?
It's the healthiest green you can find out there.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And it actually lasts a little longer. It'll hold up a little longer than spinach. It's a lot more dexterous, so you can keep it around. We're actually going to be using lacinato kale or dino kale or dino kale.
Dino kale?
Dino kale.
It looks like you're hiding behind palm fronds.
I might be. I'm not usually on camera. I'm usually behind it.
Well, you're doing a great job.
Thanks.
Is this your first cooking show experience?
This is my first cooking show experience.
Oh, we're happy to have you. I say me. This is my dog and pony cooking show.
And just
watch your fingers.
Tear it or chop it up into 1 inch, 2 inch, or however big or small you really kind of want this to be. Just kind of depends. Nothing too crazy about it. You can go back if you think they're too big.
That's good.
And this is another thing.
It's like
show you guys real quick an easy way to pull all your kale off of the leaf. If you had to sit here and go down it like this the whole time, it takes forever. Nobody's gonna like it. It's no longer a quick and easy product to kind of eat. But if you just grab here at the top, because it's pretty thick, and you just drag down, it all comes right off.
It's a good tip.
Then you just tear it up. Cool. Kids like doing it. It's fun because they get to do like, if you're a mom out there or dad out there and you have kiddos,
just give them that job.
Just give them that job. They'll be entertained because I think they're tearing something up. It's great.
Oh.
I don't know if that works or not. I don't have kids. I've never tried it.
I have a feeling that would work.
But I imagine that's
the kids
something
always want to do. I've been around my niece and like other children on this trip, my friends who have kids, and they can't wait to be a part of it. They can't wait to get their hands. We were cooking at one of my friends' houses, and she was making eggs, and they all wanted to stir it. So she was just like, "Here's a spoon," and the little boy went like this real fast, and we all thought we were going to get, salmonella poisoning. But yeah, that's a good tip.
Yeah, makes it a lot easier to pull apart if you don't like the thick bits of stem. Like, I originally started out just chopping down.
Yeah.
It's a great way to use as much of the kale as you can get without getting as much of the stem in there. So
Cool.
pretty fun. Hands-on cooking is always a lot of fun.
And you don't have to do this with the seaweed.
No, you don't have to. So I have this ginormous.
That is ginormous. I thought you were
salad bowl.
gonna pull out the basket from Whole Foods. Today we're making all the food in the Whole Foods
In
basket.
a Whole Foods basket. And this is in your salad bowl to make sure you get enough of your dressing on there. It's always fun or easy to just put all of your dressing in the bottom. Actually, I might need a little bit more.
I just told everybody on the social stream. I just tried kale for the first time, and I really did. That was the first time I've ever had kale.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why I've been avoiding it, but I guess I've been avoiding it.
You should start sneaking it into other people's diets who haven't had kale.
I didn't think you were going to other people. I thought you were sneaking into your own, but sneaking it into other people's diet.
Sneak it into your own diet.
It does have a pretty distinct flavor, though. I feel like using it in place of lettuce for a burger might throw it a little bit off.
Yeah. I
Throw
can see
somebody
that.
off to like, this isn't lettuce.
Trying to be on camera. I'm just
So we got
I'm
some
just pouring
people-
more kale. I got a big bowl. Might as well fill it up.
So we have some people watching from Australia. Do you have kale in Australia? I bet they do.
I'm sure. Well, they might. They might not care.
They might not care about kale.
But I'm sure they'll have plenty of the liquid aminos.
Oh yeah, the soy sauce alternative. I'm curious now. How alternative is it? I mean, there's like
Like, is it
the way that the label looks
earring
on this side. It
alternative,
looks a
or
little like a warning label, but it's not.
earring alternative, rock and roll?
There's
Like,
no preservatives, no alcohol, no fermented. It's gluten-free and contains all these amino acids. And it's good in soups. And tempeh. I've never had that. Have you had that before?
tempeh.
Tempeh.
I have not.
I'm trying. I think it's a tofu product.
Hmm.
Somebody said.
Did
I said, "Do you have kale in Australia?" And he said, "LOL, no." Thanks, Bradley.
Man, you should start it. You never know. Like, you could be the front runner of the kale business. in
Yes,
Australia.
Brad, you could be the front runner of the kale business.
Not
of
only
Australia.
is this a cooking show, but now it's a business advice show.
It's a business advice show. Somebody just said you will need a big something. Somebody said something about TSA and don't bring that knife on an airplane. Thank you. We're in a Whole Foods, not in an airplane. Nor are we trying to get on an airplane with kale and a knife.
We'll just assume that they have knives in Australia.
Yeah.
We'll leave our
We don't need
knives
to bring
out.
our own knives to Australia, but we have to bring our own kale.
So I
Onto
just kinda-
seaweed. Onto seaweed.
Yeah. So far, I just kind of hand toss the salad, and now I can't. Can you? open
Yeah.
this
Oh,
since you
I'd be
have
happy
dry
to
hands?
help. Is this my cooking show? I'd be happy to do something. Open this up? Sure, I got it. But you know what? It's because you touched it with your... there, now we go.
Slimy
Yes. So this, as you said earlier, instead of using giant sheets of seaweed, we're using these seaweed snacks that are kind of like chips that look just like potato chips. You probably could eat them just the same.
Yeah, actually, they're intended.
Is that
to
what
be-
you do? There you go. I'm not that brave.
Try 'em.
I don't. Are you sure?
Yeah.
This is turning into a Bizarre Foods for Eric show. I am such a bad food trier, but that's good.
It's just a little salty.
It's very
So-
salty.
It's very crisp, and these are roasted sheets. They're just very very small squares that are
It's just like a Pringle.
for anybody who makes sushi at home. These are just way smaller versions of that.
Yeah.
Um,
Put like a dollop of rice on it.
um,
So then you just dump that in there.
so actually, what we're gonna do? This is something a kid would probably like to do too.
Yes.
I because I remember this is kind of like when I would break up crackers for soups when I was a little kid. You just kind of crunch it up and sprinkle it in.
You looked like a 5-year-old when you did that. You got so excited. It was like just dust.
And then now that it's in there, you just kind of hand toss it again, kind of just making sure that you get plenty of the dressing on there.
I would tip it over just one more time so that people can see the lovely job you did of incorporating all of it.
And that's actually pretty much it for the salad. We can go ahead and serve some up on a plate. I do have some sesame seeds here that the recipe usually calls for them to be roasted.
Okay.
I didn't have time, so I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
But they're still kind of fun to have as a garnish, actually, after you serve it up.
Cool.
And they're actually pretty easy to roast. I'm being lazy.
I'm pretty lazy when it comes to cooking sometimes, but that's cool. That looks like it tastes really good.
Yeah. So Eric, if I could get you to grab those tongs right over there.
Yeah. These tongs?
Yes, please. Makeshift tongs.
Not our makeshift tongs. What are these?
Go ahead.
Oh, so I have. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Go ahead and load some on the plate there.
This is called trial and error for a reason. Sometimes I don't make it. That's nice. Oh, look at that. Very nice.
And we're going to take a little break so people can get in really close with their cameras. I don't think Eric has mentioned this, but we have a live studio audience.
We do. Woo! We can hear you all. Here you go. And now we can see you all.
We are.
Here at the Whole Foods. I almost want to show people shopping at Whole Foods. I think that'd be hilarious. People like looking in the windows of going, what's going on in there? I'll set these aside. So, and we have our quinoa going.
Yeah, actually, that's probably not going as quickly as I thought it would. It might not be ready to go to the next step.
Oh, yeah?
So this might be a good time to talk about your tour again.
Again, I am touring the U.S. all of this spring. I ended up getting some really awesome gigs. So I will be in Salt Lake City on Wednesday. Thursday, I will be in Denver. Wichita on Friday. Saturday, I will be in Kansas City. Sunday, I'm playing Tulsa. Back home, playing at the Majestic with some really good friends, Sarah and the Meanies and Sarah Slayton from Denver, Colorado, on their way to South by Southwest. And then I'm home for 4 days, and then I leave for a tour to go all the way to the East Coast to open up for Leon Russell in theaters across the Southeast. And then April, it's it's a mixture of excitement, bragging, and oh my gosh, I'm going to have to do all this. And the April tour has me going all the way up to New York City, Louisville, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and then touring with Ani DeFranco, who is my idol, and extremely excited about that. So we'll be doing theaters in Buffalo, Syracuse, Baltimore, and a few different other ones as well. So tune in to erichyman.com, to the tour page or the shows, where it says shows, and come out and see me play, and maybe I'll be cooking in between. And try to get maybe I'll try to get Leon and Ani to do some cooking.
Yeah, I heard she's
Ani's a really good cook. I did an interview with her for Out Magazine and The Advocate, where we sat down for about an hour and talked about a bunch of really cool things. And I sent her a follow-up question and asked her she liked to cook, which she said yes. And I said, what's your favorite thing to cook? And she said red beans and rice and some collard greens and some cornbread. So wouldn't that be awesome?
That sounds delicious.
Watching Ani just make cornbread and singing. I think that would be one of my favorite things ever. Like eating and listening to your favorite artist. How can that be bad?
Tune in for future possible.
For future possible. That looks really good.
All right, it is.
Let's take the camera too. Delicious.
So let me do this. We can actually pull it over here so people can see us.
Okay.
Add in the ingredients.
If I didn't make everybody dizzy by just doing that. And we're moving it over here. People in the windows are watching us. Nice.
So at this point, the quinoa has kind of absorbed a lot of the liquids and stuff like that. So here's what we want to do is we just kind of want to start dumping in the rest of our ingredients.
Yeah. Currants
or raisins.
I think they're different.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to Google that later.
Or if any of your very knowledgeable audience
You're on
knows.
Are very. Does anybody, I think everybody's on their phones. We feel like this is CNN, and everybody's on the newsroom trying to figure out the difference between currants and raisins. Bradley says, a very interesting article, and it was great to see how excited you were to meet an idol. Thank you. Yes, it was very exciting. I didn't know what to do with myself. Like, I was sitting in front of her and in front of Ani DeFranco, like, asking her questions and nervously agreeing with everything she said. I was like, oh, yeah, which is awkward. And back to the cooking.
Even stars can be starstruck.
That's
right.
Only your friend, only your good friends.
A lot of love on the show. So
now we have, is that cilantro?
Yeah, so really quickly, just to let you guys know what's in here, we roasted some red peppers and green onions. We added quinoa with some vegetable broth and let that simmer for about 15 minutes. I've already stirred in some of the currants, but the next ingredient, I'm just going to toss in some cilantro because I think cilantro is one of those foods you just put on everything.
Hey, Kim in Tulsa says, hi Eric, just stopping in. Thank you for watching. If you just stopped in, we're almost done. But
we will. Sorry, am I stepping on your lines?
No, it's an Oklahoma thing. But Webster just made a really good kale seaweed salad, and now he's finishing off this quinoa that just added cilantro to that has red peppers and green onions.
And this is being recorded, so you'll be able to tune back in.
Yes, you'll be able to tune back in and watch the whole thing. And, as we are live here from Whole Foods in Seattle.
And I'll make sure that Eric has these recipes so that he can post those along with the video as well. Because I'm sure all of you can make it better than I can.
I doubt it. That looks really good.
So now I'm just going to dump in a lot of the spices. Cumin is the next spice. Be wary if you don't cook with this. It's very strong, so don't overdo it. You'll know it when it happens. If you do,
you'll know it when it's too strong.
Yeah. I'm adding coriander in.
Is this heart healthy? Somebody asked. I need a heart healthy item for an Oscar party. This is pretty heart healthy.
Yeah, it's just vegetable broth, quinoa, veggies, and spices. Yeah, actually, so if you don't know, quinoa is actually chock more full of proteins and stuff that you need than rice is. And I am making the switch to it now because it cooks faster than rice, and I always, I don't know why I can't do it, but I always mess up rice.
Do you really?
I can't either cook it too long or not long enough.
You did perfect with the quinoa.
So I'm adding in paprika for a bit of color. Fun. What else do I got to add in here? I'm going to bring my cutting board back.
And I'm going to show you what this looks like.
Non-TSA approved knife.
I think we should have Webster on all the time. I think you're a very good natural at this.
And
are you sure this is your first cooking show?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job.
Absolutely. So we're just going to squeeze some lemon in there to give it a little bit of that zing kind of flavor.
Yeah.
And I pulled this off the stove just so you guys can see it a little better. But I'll mix this back up. You want to kind of like leave it going on the stove as you're blending all this stuff up because it'll really allow it to like keep heated.
Kind of mesh it all together.
Yeah.
Well, this looks delicious.
How are we doing on time? I don't want to...
I'll watch tomorrow, seeing you won't be on a KJRH cooking show tomorrow. No, I will not. I will be in Spokane, Washington tomorrow. Headed home, but I will be back in Tulsa on March 9th. And then I'll be in town for a few days and then back out on the road. Yep. So we're pretty much out of time, and Webster, you did awesome.
Thank you.
Two dishes, in 30 minutes.
Was that a first for trial and error?
I think that's a first. I tried
Nice.
once for 3. I don't think I made it. I tried to make potato pancakes, gnocchi, and roasted potatoes all in the same one, and bit off way more than I could chew. And if you go back, it's episode 3. And at one point, I was so confused about everything that I was doing that I had a wooden spatula like this, and I don't know why I did it. I think I was just panicking. I decided to try to push something down in the blender, and it hit the button, and it went. But I played it off pretty well. In fact, I was like, oh, we're done, and then I moved everything into a bowl, and where you couldn't see it like this, I pulled out all the wood chips. I'm honest. That's what this show's about, honesty. Well, thank you for joining us. I'm Eric Hyman, Webster Polk here. We are live from Hope. That's beautiful.
Thanks.
And it's going to taste really good. From Whole Foods in Seattle, Washington. I am on tour. I will see you all soon, and thanks so much for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.